ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदताम् ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 41, and we are on verse number 28. So this is a description of Krishna, Balaram and the cowherd people having a tour of Mathura city. They just arrived there and are walking around. So we saw the description of the city, nice houses, gardens, decorations. And then he described in 3 verses how the women of Mathura, they came running to see Krishna and Balaram. Some of them went on the roofs of their houses, some were on their doors. So he said, Jahar दृष्ट्वा मुहुश्रुतमनुद्रुतचेतसस्तं तत्प्रेक्ष्णोत्स्मितसुधोपक्ष sudhokshana labdhamanaha Anandamurtim upguhya drishatmalabdham hrishyatvacho jahuranantam arindamadhim. So Sukadeva Goswami is describing, he says that Arindam, or one who subjugates his enemies, they saw Krishna drishtva muhu. So again and again they looked at him. And Shrutam anudrita chetasastam. So he is the person about whom they have heard so many things, or rather Muhu Shrutam, about whom they have. Muhu can go both ways. So they have heard about him repeatedly. Muhu Shrutam anudrita chetasa. And their minds, their hearts melted. Tam tat prekshana utsita Sudhokshana Labdhamana. And they were honored by Krishna by the shower of nectar of his smile and glances. So Tata Prekshana, so he was also looking at them, reciprocating. And Smita, Utasmita, he was having also a smile on his face. And this is sages was like nectar, Sudha, as if he was throwing nectar at them. So they felt respected, honored, elated, very happy by that. Means he was not neglectful of them. And Ananda Murtim Upguhya, so they embraced him in the core of their hearts. He who was personification of bliss, Ananda Murti. And Drisha Atma Labdham. So Drisha Upguhya. So with their eyes they embraced him, or through the eyes they took him inside and embraced him. And Hrishyat Tvacho Jahura Anantam Adhim. So they're manifesting symptoms of ecstasy on their skin. Hrishyat Tvacha means the hair standing on the end. And in this way they gave up their adhi, or disturbance of the mind, and became very peaceful, satisfied. So Sri Vishnath Chakravarti writes that Anudrutani darshan lakshikritya eva dravibhutani chaitanshi yashant. So Anudrut Chetasa means that by seeing him their hearts melted. And then Tat Kartrikam Prekshanam Utkrishtam Smitam Cha Sudha Taya Yadukshnam Sechanam. And then Krishna, he looked at them and he had very beautiful smile, and this was just like nectar, as if it was being spread or sprinkled on them. So Yadukshnam Sechanam Labdho Mana Adro Yabhista. And they felt as if he is respecting them or honoring them by his looks and smiles. Drisha ekasya eva netrasya pangdvarena udghatitena. So here he says that Upguhya Drisha. So Drisha is used here in singular case instead of Drigbhi. So why singular? He says because they were looking from the side, from one eye, apang, side glance. So therefore singular. And that was the gateway through which they took Krishna inside. Atmani mansi labdham praptam. So Atma labdham means that they got him in their minds. And that is the best way, that is the best place to get him. If Krishna comes in the heart, that's it. If he only comes and stays in the eyes, does not go inside, then something else will come into the eye. Right? Vritti keeps on changing. But he went inside and occupied the seat. Heart is like a lotus flower, so he went inside there. So that is Atmalabdham. Yap shabdena eva upguhya tada prapti janita anantam adhim jahu. And because of that, they gave up their mental disturbance which they felt before seeing him. हे अरिंदमिति एतादृश भगवच्चरित श्रवण मननादिन एव त्वया कामादय शत्रवो जिता इति भाव. So Sukadeva Goswami is addressing Parikshit Maharaj as Arindama. So Arindamayati iti Arindama. Ari means enemy. And he says enemies here are not external enemies but the internal enemies of Kama Krodha. Jahi Shatru Mahabaho Kama Rupam Durasadam. Krishna tells to Arjuna that kill this Shatru in the form of Kama. So he has conquered all these enemies, Parikshit Maharaj, because he also has Krishna in his heart. So Dhrita Chittam Ishe Gayata Vishnu Gatha. So Mopayata, this is what he said when the sages had assembled at the river Ganga, and Parikshit Maharaj said that I have taken shelter of you and of Ganga, I who have Dhrita Chittam Ishe, who has Isha or Krishna in my heart. So Dhatu Kuhuka Takshakova Gayatu Alam Vishnu Gatha. Let this magical thing, snake, whatever it is, may come and bite me. You please just sing Vishnu Gatha. That's what I want to hear. So even who is very eager to hear like this, he cannot have enemies like Kama and Krodha in the heart. So that's why he addresses him as Arindama. So etadrish bhagavad charitra shravan mananadinaiva tvaya kamadaya shatravo jita iti bhava. That by hearing Krishna's pastimes which are being described here and also meditating on them, you have already conquered all these enemies. प्रासाद शिखरारूढ़ा प्रीत्युत्फुल्ल मुखाम्बुजाः अभ्यवर्षन् सौमनस्यैः प्रमदा बालकेशवौ. And the ladies who have gone onto the roof of their houses, prasada shikhararuಢha, priti utfulla mukhambuja, and they had blooming faces like the blooming lotuses because of love, and they were showering flowers on Krishna, Saumanashya, Pramada, Balakeshava, on Balram and Krishna. So that's how they were worshipping them with flowers. So dadhi akshatai saudapatraihi sraggandhairabhyupayanaihi tava narchuhu pramuditas tatra tatra dujatayaha. And when they were walking like this, then various brahmanas also came there and they worshipped Krishna. And how did they worship? Dadhi akshatai. So they had yogurt, so you put the grass inside and sprinkle it, and rice, so you throw that. And so the patre, they also had water in the pots, and they gave garland, shrak, gandhai, some fragrant pastes, sandalwood, etc., abhyupayani, and some gifts. So this is how they received Krishna. So sometimes this is done to politicians in India, right? Now elections are going on, so when the result will come and whoever wins, then he goes for a victory lap in his constituency. Right? Like in that stadium, somebody wins, then they make a victory lap, everybody claps. So the politicians do, they will go around, and everywhere they go, they are garlanded and worshipped. Yeah, it's common. So this is, Krishna is getting the reception by the Brahmanas of Mathura. So some of them probably are those who did not give him food before. Right? So now they are getting the chance. Uchuhu paura aho gopyas tapah kimacharan mahat ya hieta anupashyanti naraloka mahotsavo. And the residents of Mathura, they spoke among themselves. They said, wonder, what kind of austerities these gopis must have performed that they get to see Krishna every day, who is the festival for the human beings. Naraloka Mahotsava, both of them, dual case. Soya etau anupashyanti. So anupashyanti means they see him regularly. So what great fortune they have, what austerities they must have done to get such a fortune, such a luck that you get to see Krishna every day. So this is the description up till here, how he went into the city. Now Krishna comes into action. Till now he was just walking leisurely, relaxed. So now some action happens. So rajikam kanchidayantam rangakaram gadagrajah drishtva yachata vasamsi dhotani atuttamani cha. So Krishna, he saw some washerman who was coming from the opposite side. And he was also Rangakaram. He was also the person who dyes clothes, Rangakaram. So Gadagraja, the elder brother of Gada, Krishna, saw him, and he was carrying a lot of cloths with him, which he just dyed them. They were fresh cloths, recently dyed, ironed, right? You know how they used to iron cloths in the past? How?
There used to be this thick, heavy bed, and below that used to keep this, shirt or clothing like that, and then they used to press or sleep on that, and the next day.
That's how you used to do. We also used to do that. And just put it under the pillow. But there was no iron. So you make a nice folding and put it under the pillow and then sleep on it. So by morning it gets ironed. So that's how I used to do that. So drishtva ayachata vasamsi dhautani uttamani cha. So Krishna, he begged. Krishna is begging, right? Ayachata. Everybody begs him. He is begging that please give us some of these nice cloths which are all new, clean. So he did not do that. So sumanasam tasam karmani bhavingitani somanashyani tair hetu bhir abhyavarshan kushmani smitani vaiti. So this is previous sloka. So sumanas means also flower, it also means one who has pure mind. So somanasya can mean both, that they were showering flowers or they were showering their love, because it also means bhava of those who are sumanas. Tasam karmani bhavingitani somanashyani tair hetu bhirabhyavarshan. So kushmani smitani va. Or it can mean just flowers, it can also mean smile. Sumanasa can also mean smile. So that's how they received. Paura Purvashi Strijana. Paura means the people of the city, ladies and gents. Rajako Vastra Nirnejaka Seva Vastranam Rangamapi Kurvan Rangakarastam. So Rajaka means one who cleans the cloth, and Rangakara, because two words are used, he also dyes them. So both words are used. So when he asked for the cloth, he did not give. Dehi avayo samuchitani angvasamsi charhato bhavishyati param shreyo dhatuste natra samsayaha. So he said, please give us some nice cloths to both of us, because we need this. But he refused to give. Bhavishyati param shreyo dhatuste natra samsaya. He says, if you give us these cloths, you will have blessings. There is no doubt about it. All your wishes will be fulfilled. There will be no lack for you. So although they are begging, but they will give him so much. But he did not listen. So sayachito bhagavata paripurnena sarvataha shakshepam lushite praha bhrityo ragya sudurmadaha. So when he was begged like this by Bhagavan, who is complete in himself, who has no need to beg anything to anybody, it was a great fortune for the washerman that he was begging him, but he did not pay any attention to that. Rather he thought that who is this guy who is asking, how can he dare to ask this? So sakshepam rushita praha. So he spoke to him in a very sarcastic manner, because he was very proud. Bhrityo ragya, he was servant of the king. So proud servant of the proud king. So he did not give. He says, idrishanyeva vasamsi nityam grivanechara paridhatte kimudvritta rajadravyani bhipsitaha. So he spoke in a very disrespectful manner, sarcastically. He says, you people who live in the forest, in the mountain caves, do you deserve these clothes? Do you wear clothes like this? Idrishaniya vasamsi nityam. He says, do you use clothes like this every day? Paridhatte kim udvritta. He says, you insolent people, how dare you can ask Rajdravyani abhipshita. So you are asking for these cloths which belong to the king. So how dare you, meaning you who are just some cowherd boys, but you are desiring things which belong to the king. So think before you ask for this. So that's what he said. So vrittat saushilyat udgata he dushila ityartha. So not only that he refuses, he is calling them udavritta, means those who are not behaving properly. So what you call as upstart, Udavritta. That you upstarts, how can you dare to ask this? Paridhatta iti sambhavnayam lota. So lot lakar is used here in the sense of possibility. He says, do you ever actually wear clothes like this? Saraswati ityaha. So, but he gives another meaning to these words. So he says, Uda Vritta. Vritta means character, Uda means up. That's why in English you have the word upstart. So in Sanskrit also it literally means similar. But it can also mean Udavritta means that your vritta, your character is very pristine, superior. So Utkrishta Charitra and Giri Vanechara, that you wander in the forest and mountain. So Govardhan Giri Chara. So Giri Vanechara means that you have very wonderful character because you also lifted Govardhan hill. Yuyam kimidrishani prakritani paridhatte apitune. He says, why are you asking for these material dresses? You are much superior to this. You don't deserve to have this type of dress. You are transcendental people. So that is the meaning. He says, therefore you should not ask for this. Tasmat līlāyā api kim rajdravyāni apavitrāni abhipsyate. He says, therefore even for the sake of Leela, your pastime, you should not desire these clothes which belong to king, because they are impure. So in the Smriti Shastra it is said that you should not eat in the house of a king, in the palace, or take food from the Ayurvedic doctor, king. Rajan, it's called Rajan. Rajan is considered as polluting, pollutes the mind. So he says, this is all impure, you don't deserve this. And Vrittam Padye Charitre Shuiti Amara. So how he got the meaning of Udvritta as Utkrishta Charitra? Because Vritta also means Charitra. Vritta also means a verse. So then he said as follows to them. Yatashu balisha maivam prartham yadi jijivisha badhananti gnanti lumpanti driptam rajakulani vai. So he said that you foolish boys, get lost from here quickly. If you wish to live, don't ask. Yadi jijivisha, if you have the wish to still breathe till tomorrow, then run away from here. Why? Because if the servants of the king came, they will arrest you, badhananti, and they can kill you, ghnanti, if not kill, at least beat you up, and lumpanti, and they will plunder whatever you have. So driptam rajkulani. So you are dripta, you are very insolent, so therefore they will take everything from you. So therefore don't ask, and better you run away from here quickly before I blow the whistle and the police will come running. So this is, he scared them, he was trying to scare them like this. So yata iti spashta pakshe he balisha. So he says that this meaning, direct meaning is clear. The other meaning is like this. He is calling them as balisha. Balisha means childish, foolish. So he gives another meaning to this. He says balim shyanti tripad bhumim prarthya tanum kurvanti iti. Balisha. So he is making this balisha from the word bali and shyan dhatu. Shyan tanu karana. Two osvi dhatu is there. Shyati. So the word dog comes from that only. Swa. Swa, swano, swana, swanam, swano, shuna. Sunicha sapakecha pandita samdarshina. Comes from the same dhatu. So he said, just like you are Balisha because you ask for 3 steps of land to Bali Maharaj, and then you made him thin. Tanu kurvanti. So basically Tanu kurvanti means to make you thin. Tanu karanam means you took everything from him. There was nothing left with him. That is thinning. When you have something, you are fat, right? When you lose something. So that is, he is calling them as Balisha. And He Parameshwara. So therefore Balisha means you are the Supreme Lord. Yadi me jijivisha asti tarhi maivam prarthya. And now if you wish that I live, then please do not ask me for these dresses, because I will not be able to refuse, and if I give, then the king will kill me. So that's another meaning he's taking. Tari maivam prarthya. Why? Baliriva tubhyam yadi vasamsi dadami tari adya me jivanam nasthashyati. He says, like Bali Maharaj, he says, you went to beg to Bali, and look what happened to Bali. He was bound in the Nagapass, in the snake ropes, and if I give to you, I don't know what will happen. So he says, I will die, life will not remain. So Kuta, why is that? He says, Badhananti Rajkulani Atratya Rajkiya Purushadriptam Kamsa Rajat Nishankam Janam Pratvam Badhananti Tato Rajanam Vigyapya Ghananti Tato Lumpanti. He says, if I give this to you because they don't belong to me, they belong to the king, then the police will come and they will bind me. And then they will inform Kamsa. And Kamsa will order, kill this guy. How dare he gives my cloth to these people? Of all the people, he is giving them to my enemies. Because these are the very people he wanted to kill. And they are taking his dress. Of course, he is their maternal uncle. In India, it's custom that maternal uncle gives gifts to the children of the sister. Right? Detenas. So they are already taking. He says then they will tie us down, they will beat us up, and they will take away whatever we have. So please do not beg us. So that is the second type of meaning. Evam vikathamanasya kupito deviki sutaha rajkasya karagrena shiraya patayat. So when he was boasting like this very proudly, then Krishna got angry. He also gets angry, right? Kupita, have you heard Krishna getting angry? Can you remember anywhere he's getting angry? Where? Dadi Manthan. Yes. Now he's getting angry. So Kupito Devaki Sutaha, son of Devaki, got angry. Why he got angry? Devaki Sutta, because he is the son of Devaki. He says, what you are saying? I am son of Devaki. She is the sister of Kamsa. Don't you know that? He is my uncle. You don't want to give this to me? So then what he did? He gave one karate chop. He is a karate champion also. This is word karagrena. Karate, kara means hand. And karena arti iti karata. At dhatu is there in Sanskrit. At means to wander. So one who wanders just with his hand as a weapon is called karate. So Krishna is black. He also has black belt in karate. So that, people think karate came from Japan or wherever. It came from Mathura. So he gave, actually he killed him. He gave him one chop, karagrena, with the front of his hand like this. He just hit him like this and his head fell off. No karate champion can do that. So kayad apatayat. He says his head got separated from his body and fell on the ground. Just one. Rajkasya karagrena sira kayad apatayat. Because remember the washerman in Rāsa-līlā who was saying that how is this Ram keeping Sita? So he says, you rascal. Now I'll teach you that way. There I was Ram. So I was gentle. So he's holding his anger. Right? Revenge is a dish which tastes when eaten cold. We're saying like this in English. So he's holding that revenge for so long. Finally got the chance. He finished him in one chop. So he was gone. So then what happened? Tasyanujivina sarve vasa koshan visrajya vai dadruvu sarvato margam vasam si jagrihe chuta. So he had his followers with him, his servants, who were carrying clothes in bags, a lot of them. So they all ran away from there. Right? Somebody comes with AK-57, starts shooting. He just did it in one. So they all ran from there. He said, Tasyani jivana sarve vasan koshan. They dropped all the cloths there and ran away. Dadruvu sarvata margam. So they ran like anything. And vasam se jagrihe achyuta. And Krishna, he took away all the clothes. Svashitvatma priye vastre Krishna sankarshanas tatha sheshani adatte gopebhya visrijya bhuvikanichit. So then he selected various cloths of his choice from that and also gave to Sankarshan, his brother Balram, and remaining one he gave to the cowherd boys. He says, everybody dress up nicely. Because if you go to the city, you have to dress, right? So dress in Rome as Romans do. What is the saying? Do in Rome as Romans do. So if you go to Mathura, you have to dress like Mathura people. So to dress like Mathura people, you have to get dress for Mathura people. So they got it. So everybody got nicely dressed, as if they're going in some marriage party. And whatever clothes were remaining, they just threw them there on the road and left. Tatastu vayaka pritas tayor veshamakal vichitra varnais chaleyair akalpair anurupataha. And then when they moved further down, then they met a tailor. And the tailor, he fixed the dress. Because obviously these dresses were not up to their size. So some were tight, some were loose. So the tailor, he was very happy to see them. And he says, come here, I'll fix your dresses are not fitting you. So he called them. Pritayas tayor vesham akalpayat. So he made nice dresses for them. Made dresses means what they had, from that only he stitched whatever is needed. Vichitra varnais chalayair akalpair anurupata. And he actually not only made the dresses, but he dressed them. He says, this is how you should dress. Take this, and this type of dhoti will match with this type of kurta, and this type of chadar, and this type of turban. So all this matching, chalayai, akalpair anupayat. And he also gave them some nice ornaments, akalpa. So they now were really fit residents of Mathura. So in this Hindi there is a saying, Jaisa Desh, Vaisa Bhesh. As is the city, you should dress accordingly. So they dressed up. So Vasha Koshan Vastra Samputan. So this is the servants. They dropped all the bags of clothes and ran away. Vayaka Venava Sauchika. So Vayaka means a tailor, and it says Vainava and Sauchika. So he also a weaver. Vainava means weaver and Sauchika means one who works with the needle. Suchi means needle. You heard of Suchika Tahanyaya? Right? So that is Sauchika. Sauchika means one who works with the needle. Means so, because there was no machine. Machine was later on. So previously they used to sew cloths with hand and needle and thread. So they are called Sauchika. And Akalpai, the word Akalpai means Kataka Kundala Kayuradibhis Chelayai. So he also gave them ornaments, Kataka Kundala, so for the hands, bracelets, armlets, earrings, Kayura for their necklaces, etc. And Chalai Komala Chela Khanda Nirmitai. Chalaya means the dresses which he made with fine cloth. And Vichitra Varna Mani Jatita Svarna Tulya Varnai. And then he had Vichitra Varna, means multicolored. So in these dresses he also tagged some various types of gems, so they looked very colorful. Svarna Tulya Varnai, the dresses looked like golden. Anurupataha Malla-līlāyām Gatra Todakatvena Chalaya Alankaranam eva Achityena Anurupyan. So Anurupta means suitable, and he says that suitable here means that what was suitable for them to go to the wrestling match, because they were supposed to go to the Malla-līlā. Malla means wrestler. So that they were dressed like wrestlers now. And in wrestling you have to wrestle, so the clothes have to be nice so that you don't get hurt. Tayor Varna Anurupyatche. And Anurupta also means that these cloths were also matching to their bodily color, because Krishna is blackish and Balaram is whitish in color. So therefore he gave them dress which suits their bodily hue. So you must know that. Nana Lakshan Veshabhyam Krishna Rama Virajatuhu Swalankritau Balagajau Parvani Vaisite Tarau Tasya prasanno bhagavan pradat sarupyamatmanah priyam shriyam cha paramam loke balashvarya smritindriyam. So in this way, they both dressed very nicely, Krishna and Balram, and they had very colorful dress. So they looked even more beautiful now than before. Swalankiritau, they were decorated very nicely, Balagajau, and they appeared like two young elephants walking in the street. Parvani iva sitaitarau. So like elephants, sometimes the kings have elephants and they go out on a parade. So like that they appeared like white elephant and black elephant. So Sita Itaro. Sita means white and Itara means black. Sita Itara means other than Sita. So like that they appeared. So nana vidha lakshane ayostabhyam ditvam tattadanurupattvena dvidha bhedat parvani utsave sitetaro sitashyamo. So various types of colors, characteristics they had, and dvityam, dvivachan is used because there are two of them. Dvidha bhedat means their dresses were not exactly same, that's why dvivachan is used. And Parvani here refers to festival, because it was also festival. Kamsa was doing this big festival. And Sitetaro means black and white and black. Tasya prasanno bhagavan pradat sarupyam atmanah shriyam cha paramam loke balaishwarya smritindriya. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna was very pleased with this tailor. So being pleased with him, he gave him sarupya, mukti. So he says, after this body, you come to Vaikuntha and have form like me. And here, what about this place? Shriyam cha paramam loke. And he gave supreme opulence here in this world. So he got benefit here and hereafter. Here he got all the opulence, strength, majestic power, good memory, no dementia in old age, smriti and indriyam and powerful senses. Not that when you become old, you need glasses, you cannot see, you need hearing aid, nothing like that. So he got good physical body and opulence and residence in Krishna's abode. So Indriyam, Indriya, Patavam. So the word Indriyam, he gave them senses. What does it mean? He did not have senses before. Means he gave strength of senses. Patavam. So then they moved from there. What is needed now is garland. After you dress up nicely, then you need garland. So garland men came. Tataha sudamno bhavanam malakarasya jagmatuhu tau drishtva samuthaya nanam sirsha bhu. So then they went to the house of garland maker, both of them. And by seeing Krishna and Balram, he immediately stood up and he bowed down to them, putting his head on the ground. So he was smart. Tayorasinam asanam aniya padyam chargyaranadibhi pujam sanugayos chakre shraktambulanu lepanaihi. So not only he bows down to them, bowed down, but he also gave them the seat to sit down, and then he washed their feet, he gave them arghya, and he did puja. And Sanugayos Chakra, he received also all the cowherd boys who were following him, and he gave them garlands, because he makes garland. He make them tambula, betel nut, and also gave them some what you call perfumes, anulepana, some paste applied on their body. So vastra alankara paridhananantaram mala apekshante tya. So he says that after you have dressed up and you have put on your ornaments, now all you need is garland. So therefore they went to the garland maker and got the garlands from there. Prahana sarthakam janma pavitam chakulam prabho pitri devarshayo mayam tushtahi agamane navam. So this, he must be a devotee, this garland maker. Probably he is making garland to some temple. So he says, today my birth has become successful and my whole family has become purified, O Lord, because you have come, both of you have come to my house. Pitri devarashyo mahyam tushta. He says, my forefathers, my devas, the sages, they all have become pleased on me. So means Pitriran, Devaran, Rishiran, all these three types of debts, they are all completed and they are pleased with me. That's how you have appeared in my house. Bhavanto kil vishwasya jagatah karanam param avtirnau hi amshena kshemaya cha bhavaya cha. And both of you are the ultimate cause of this universe. Vishwasya jagatah karanam param. And you have appeared here along with your amshas for the welfare of the world, for its progress. So this word comes many times in Bhagavatam, avatirna hi amshena. The straightforward meaning is that you have partly appeared here. Right? When Krishna Sandarbha Jiva Goswami explains that amshena here means saha amshena, that along with your amshas you have appeared. Otherwise, who's amshena? Avatirna hi amshena. Nahi vam vishama drishti sruhidor jagadatmano samayo sarvabhuteshu bhajantam bhajatorapi. So this is a vishama. This is not a Bhav Samas here. Yesterday it came. So he says, I do not have discriminatory vision towards anyone. Sruhidor Jagadatmano, you are the Sruhit of Jagat, and because I worship you, Bhajantam Bhajato Samyo, or rather he is saying about them that Vam Vishma Drishti Nahi, your vision is equal towards everyone, because you are the Sruhit of Jagat. Samyo Sarvabhuteshu, you are equal to all. Bhajantam Bhajatorapi. One who is doing bhajan to you, so as Krishna says, Samaya Sarveshu Bhuteshu Name Dveshastu Na Priya. So bhajantam bhajtorapiti samoham sarvbhuteshu ityatriya bhajanti cha mam bhaktya maiteteshu chapyamiti tadukte. So bhajantam bhajtorapi says the meaning is that he is equal to all, but those who worship, he favors them. Vastutastu viprasvapachadishu satkarma kukarmavat suapi madhye yakopi tvam bhajti tameva tvam bhajsiti. So bhajantam bhajto api. So he says that you reciprocate those who do worship to you. That's what he's trying to say, that whether somebody is a Brahmana or somebody is a dog eater, somebody is doing good activities or bad activity, whoever worships you, you also reciprocate with him. न तव जात्यादि वैषम्यम यतो अत्र त्येषु अपि मध्ये भजन्तं वायकं मालाकारं च माम कृतार्थेसि. So meaning he says is that you do not discriminate on the basis of one's birth. Somebody is born in a high jati or somebody is born in a low jati. You do not discriminate. But if somebody is your devotee, then you bless them. Otherwise, I am just a garland maker and he was a weaver before, but you have blessed both of us. तावाज्ञापयतं भृत्यं किमिह करवाणि वाम पुंसोऽति अनुग्रहो हि एषः भवद्भिर्यन् युज्यते. So he is saying that please order us. I am your servant. What shall I do for you? Like they say, how can I help you? So he says, Kim aham karvani? What shall I do for you? What can I do for you? How can I serve you? Pumsho ati anugraho yesha. He says this is the greatest blessing on a living being, that he is engaged in your service or you engage him in your service. If you order someone to do something, that is the big fortune. And this was the misfortune of the washerman, that Krishna was engaging him in service and he refused. But these people, they accepted the service and they got the blessing. So this is the end of verse number 48, and we'll stop here if there is any question to ask. Yes.
Is Sudama same who went to Dwarka?
No, this is not same. This is a garland maker, that is a Vipra. That Sudama is a Brahman.
I often heard that in India, before the Mughals came, that the clothes were not stitched or sewed. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce this word properly, but without thread and needle. They were done just cut. And I also heard that for deities, the clothes are often not, manufactured using needle and thread because this is considered impure. But now, in this Leela here we see the Sochaka making clothes for Krishna himself, and I'm wondering if this is a pramana against what I said before, that it was a custom also to sew clothes, and that it's also fine to, or also desirable to make clothes like this for deities.
Yeah, it was there, but obviously it was not as much prevalent as you see now. Because one thing is that, at least here, most of India is very hot, so you don't need. Only in the winter. So there was no big need for that. And people were not wearing pants, so there was no need to stitch that. Ladies wore saris and men wore dhotis. Both of them don't need any stitching. So most of the time people were like that, but on special occasions, festival time, then they will come up with fancy dress, and rich people, royal people, they would have. So common people were not having too many stitched cloths. That's true, but it's not that it did not exist at all. Because you hear the word kanchuki so many times. It's the upper cloth for the ladies. But definitely the influence of Britishers came when they came here.
And regarding deities, is it correct that usually the deity clothes are not done with thread? Or is it just...
I don't know. I mean, there is no such prohibition. At least I have not read anything like that.
Ah, okay. But is it a custom actually?
Custom.
To have clothes without thread for deities?
That's what I'm saying. I have not seen any prohibition like that.
Yeah.
So maybe in the past, because if you go to South India, then there is put on sari, right? Fancy saris, Vishnu is wrapped around in that, and there is nothing on top. Even in the paintings, you see Vishnu is not having a shirt. First of all, 4 hands is problem. Yeah, the deity is having 4 hands. How will you dress him above? So they generally just put dhoti. If you go to South Indian temples, all they have is dhoti, and on above some chadar hanging.
In Rajasthan temples, they have this whole pants and kanchuka and stuff.
I'm talking about South India. So North India is also more influenced by the foreign rulers than South.
Did I hear you say that one should not eat in the house of a king and also in that of an Ayurvedic doctor?
Yeah, and Jyotish, there are many people like that.
Why is it prohibited to eat in the house of an Ayurvedic doctor?
Because they take money from sometimes people. Doctors have this tendency, not all doctors, but they have a tendency, doctors, lawyers, that if they get a customer, they want that it continues. So their money is therefore not considered as good. Same with king. It's especially for sadhus, it is forbidden. People will not accept money from them. About Pandit Baba, Pandit Ramakrishna story, that king of Gwalior or somewhere came and gave money. And then he chastised him and says, take it, don't come here again. Maharaj also used to say, because in the olden days there were not so many ashrams like you see now. Mainly there were temples here, and there were temple gardens. So where you are sitting, this was also garden. They were all gardens, even up to 50 years ago. Yeah. All these areas were gardens, This was called Govind Ji ka Bagicha, Damodar Ji ka Bagicha, all this. Like we have that Bagicha, that also belonged to temple. So sadhu used to stay in these Bagichas, making some huts. And then kings used to come and they will do sadhu seva. Some kings will come and distribute money every month for sadhus. And Maharaj said that nobody would go. Nobody would go to take it because they didn't want to take from them. Now, you go to them, right? They don't need to come here and distribute and people don't want. Now people, sadhus are going and begging for money. For this project, that project, Goshala, temple. So previously people were not taking money. It was difficult for, especially authentic sadhus will not touch. I heard one story that there was one sadhu. This is a story, I think in Haridwar or somewhere. And some rich man came to see him and gave him some 4 gold coin or something. He didn't want, but he left. So he said, okay, he has left it. I will do sadhu seva with this. Means I will feast the sadhus. So he put these coins, he had a Bhagavad Gita, and I wrap my book. So he was wrapping his Bhagavad Gita, so he put the coins inside the cloth. And then he went to Badrinath, and on the way he died. And before dying he was thinking, oh, that money is there and I wanted to do sadhu seva and I could not do, and thinking like this he died. So in the next life he became a snake. But then he gave a dream to his disciple who became in charge of the ashram that actually I am a snake and you should go in this Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 gold coins, take them out and feed the sadhus, then only I will be released from this. So this is a real story.
I have a question related to Jateti Spashtam.
Hmm?
I have a question related to Jateti Spashtam that Vishwanath uses in Shloka 36.
Jateti?
Jateti Spashtam. It's the beginning of his tika.
Not Yateti, but
Jateti Spashtam.
Yateti. Why are you saying Jateti?
It's Yateti. Okay.
It is Yateti.
Because
Yata is there, Yata Ashu. Balisha. Sloka starts with Yata. So Yata iti spashta.
Okay. Now I understand.
Okay. Vraj Vinodani. Haribol, Vraj Vinodani.
Oh yes, Haribol, I'm sorry, I unmuted myself. I'm looking at that verse 27 where it discusses Krishna's beauty, how he walks like a elephant in rut.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the next chapter where it starts to describe Krishna's entrance into the arena and how gorgeous he and Balaram are. And it seems it's describing a type of beauty we haven't seen in Vrindavan. It's Krishna is strong, muscular, handsome, and very charming like a prince. So this type of beauty will appeal to a different type of devotee, right?
Yes. Yeah, that verse will come also where Malla Namasni, that how he appeared differently to different people. To wrestlers he appeared very strong, to ladies very beautiful, to kings like a chastiser, to the parents like a young boy. So according to the mood of the devotees or people who look at him, he appears like that.
There's an ISKCON painting that was painted a long time ago of Krishna straddling Kamsa. He's standing over Kamsa and he's flexing his muscles and he's getting ready to hit Kamsa.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting. I don't know if it's realistic, but Krishna does appear more muscular in this Leela, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Regarding this prohibition of from whom to take donations, food, etc. So what I understood is that because their mentality is not recommended for devotees, right? And would this mean that if these Jyotishi and so on are devotees, then there's not a problem, or is it still like what is here the intention?
Yeah, intention is, as I said, that this is called Anna Dosha. So there is Artha Dosha, Anna Dosha means impurity, different types. Impurity of wealth. So ya Artha Suchi, Sayeva Suchi. One whose wealth is clean, he is clean. Whose wealth is earned by proper pure means, he is a pure person. So in Smriti Shastra especially, in Dharma Shastra, Smriti Shastra means Dharma Shastra, there is a lot of stress given on purification, samskaras. This is the whole idea of samskaras. Samskara means which purifies you. And then obviously it's not only purifying but also avoiding not to get impure. So one of the biggest impurity of the mind comes from the food. Because our body and mind are made from food. Ahar suddhau, sattva suddha, sattva suddhau dhruva smriti. Right? And then smrtau vipramoksha, granthi vipramoksha. So even Upanishad is saying this. So this ahar shuddhi, ahar means food. So purity of food is very, very important, plays a very big role. Now people do not understand, they eat anything here, there, where. So even 50, 60 years ago, people were very strict what they ate and where they ate and from whom they ate. This was one of the very strict rules. So in simple Hindi language it is called roti beti ka sambandh. So this is what Arjuna is speaking. And he's talking about jati dharma, kul dharmascha shashvata and pradushyanti kulastriya. This is what he's talking about. That impurity will come. So this jati dharma or dharma related with jati, related with kula, family, these are things which are related with these things. Who can eat with whom and where. Because this all brings impurity if it is not done properly. And when mind is polluted, then everything is polluted. So that's why Dharma Shastra speaks of these rules. So they will talk in the language of sin. Then if you eat this, you get sin. If you do this, you get sin. Because that's the language.
But then, on the other hand, we hear that exchanging food, for example, is one of the characteristics of priti that devotees also do.
Yeah, so that is
each
about
other.
devotees. It's not talking about devotees here.
Okay, good. So therefore, this rule about devotees exchange, this is stronger, yeah. And
because devotees considered, as per the definition of a devotee, then he
of
is.
course, gradations.
And he is not having any impure ideas or pardravya parastri, right? What is that? Tasyate tena keshava pardravya parastri parahimsam karoti naya tena tushyati bhupa keshava. So one who does not take others' wealth, others does not do himsa, that is a Vaishnava, and Lord is very easily pleased with that. So that's what a Vaishnava is. Vaishnava is not coveting others' wealth. Is not causing trouble to others.
I see. Whereas rulers, normally they also execute violence and are engaged in the executive functions, and
Who?
therefore... So
Kings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kings, of course. They also take tax. Because when you are taking tax, you just make a law, but the other person may not be able to pay it. But still the Raj Karamchari, the tax collectors will go and take. They don't care who you are and what you are. So that's why in the olden days, the Vaishnavas are also free from tax. It's there in Bhagavatam.
We also have these instances of acharyas, for example, Jiva Goswami getting ink and paper and such things from Akbar, these kind of documents. So how
Taking
are
what?
Ink and paper from the royal court, Akbar's court, and such documents exist. So
He's
how
talking
are
about food.
Okay.
Paper is not going inside your body.
Yeah, so it is. They don't see it as artha or anna.
I'm talking about food, anna dosha, ahara suddha, sattva suddha. And he's not taking something for which he's accumulating it for his enjoyment. How is it going to pollute him? Purushottam Prabhu.
I have a question from verse number 31. Why are they only referring to the Gopya instead of all other Gopas? It says Naraloka Mahotsavo.
So for whom was he Mahotsav more than anyone else? Now also,
Everybody else, right?
now,
Gopis are
now when you saw here, forget about gopis. Now when the description of Mathura people came, in verse number 25, 26, 27 and 28, these were men or women?
these are all women, yes.
And anything said about men?
No.
So just from this you can understand.
And what is the meaning of this Uta Smita? There is a different kind of Smita, right? 4-5 kinds of Smitas are there?
Yes. Means happy. Happily smiling.
So not showing their teeth or anything like that. Just a
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah, he's not laughing, he's just smiling. Okay, Mohini.
You explained that the flowers which the ladies were towering on Krishna, they indicate their smiles and their paths.
Because the word Sumanas has many meanings. The word used is Somanashya in the sloka. So different meanings it can also mean smile, it can also mean the feelings, it can also mean flowers.
So is it proper to ask what incense and what dhupa and deepa indicate?
What do you mean?
If flowers indicate...
No, the word itself has that many meaning. Now it doesn't mean Deepa, doesn't mean anything else. I'm saying the word Sumanas. You know Manas.
Yeah.
So Sumanas means good Manas. That is direct meaning. It can also mean, so that means the Somanasya means the bhava of Manas, feelings. But Sumanas also means flower, means it which gives pleasure to your mind. Sumanasa is also used for devas. In Sanskrit, one word can have different meanings.
And could you please explain what is this Suchi Kataya Nyaya?
If you have to make a needle and if you have to make a cauldron, which one you make first?
Cauldron, what is that?
Big pot. You are a blacksmith. You have to make one needle and you have to make one big pot. Which one will you do first?
I don't get the logic.
So the logic is that you have two works to do and one is small which takes 5 minutes, another will take 10 hours. Which one will complete? You complete the small one first. So then you have only the big one remaining, only one is remaining. But if you start doing the big one, then you have two things to do, So which takes less time, you complete that first.
And what? Okay, and Suchi Kataya Nyaya means.
That's what it means.
The needle takes less time to be produced.
What do you think?
I don't know. I never produced.
Have you seen a needle?
Yes, but I don't know how long it takes to produce a needle.
Just use your brain. Needle is a small thing. It just has a small hole in it. There is no complication in it. But if you have to make a big pot, it is round. You have to hit 200 times. Simple thing. It's nothing complicated in it. Okay, Sandeep. Yes.
I couldn't get that this undosh from the Jyotish because traditionally, like whenever anyone went to the Jyotish, so whatever he had the means, he would give that dakshina. So dakshina mein kaise dosh?
It's to take from him, not to give him.
No, if you take food from a person who's just sustaining on dakshina,
Then there is no dosh. How do you know that he is only sustaining on dakshina? This is your assumption. Now if it gives a wrong advice, then who is going to get the karma for that? And you eat his food, then you will also get it. Okay, we'll stop.